Man United 4, Everton nil. This is the start we wanted to Amarim's Premier League tenure at Old Trafford. We can finally say we've seen a performance where, yes, we struggled in the first parts of the game. Yes, Everton probably did have the ball more in the initial parts of the game. But guess what happens? The game does not end after the first 20 minutes. It's over 90 minutes. And what happened over the 90 minutes is that we won 4-0. Yes, we might say it is just Everton. We might have said, yes, it's just Bodo Glimt the other day. But guess what? Last two Old Trafford games, 7 goals scored. If you don't think that is a sign that Amarim's system is working, I don't know what you're expecting. And guess what? This does not mean I'm saying that we're going to beat Arsenal. Because, in fact, I think we're going to struggle against Arsenal. But that's because we are not at the same level where Arsenal are in their process or whatever they term as a process. Arteta has been there for 5 years. Amarim has been here for less than 5 weeks. So we cannot set the same standards. And that's going to be a difficult game, yes. But when is the last time we've had 60% of the ball at Old Trafford against anybody and we felt like the game reflected that? Like, I know we've had games where we've had 60% possession, but it feels like the opponents have had more of the ball. Maybe they were more effective with counterattacks, and so we think they had more of the ball than we did. We would have the ball, but we'd use it to no effect. But today showed us after the first 20 minutes where Everton were pressing us, to be fair, and we did not start the game well. But right after that, we saw we have so much more to offer. Let's go through the players and the players who shone the most today. Number 1, AMAD Diallo. I know I say this almost every game because he is just that good. AMAD Diallo is a class above everybody else. And you see that with almost every action he does, whether that's a pass, whether that's a dribble, whether that's pressing, whether that's his finishing. He just shines above everybody else on the pitch. He's our best creator and he's arguably our best dribbler. And one thing I did not know before Amarim came in was that, well, he's our best presser as well. Because have you seen how many times he initiates the press? He's the trigger for the press. Suddenly the entire team closes in on the opposition and AMAD Diallo wins the ball back. AMAD Diallo wins the ball back, gets it into the final third, and the difference between him and other players is when he gets the ball, he does not roll over the ball. He does not rush a shot just like that. Because what? He does not want to just shoot randomly. He knows what to do, and that's why he picks the right decision 9 times out of 10. This is the player we've been screaming out for, guys. I'm going to make a wild claim. In the last 10 years, since 2014, we have not had a better creator than AMAD Diallo. You can say whatever you like, but the impact he has on the team shows exactly that. I'm talking about any player that's been here in the last 10 years who has performed in a United shirt and who haven't. He is our best creator. And the fact that he is only, 22 or 23, shows you he has much more to give and he will give much more. And he's performing to such a high level, we should regard him as our best player because he's just that good. And when he's our best creator, when he's our best passer and he's our best dribbler, this gives me a vibe. Well, maybe he's not scoring as much as him, but this gives me the vibe of our very own Cole Palmer. In AMAD Diallo, we have our own Cole Palmer. And the idea is, regardless of what happens around him, he should be the center of this. AMAD Diallo should be the jewel for the Man United crown. So regardless of what happens, the team should be built around AMAD and Kobe. Now, player number 2 I'd like to give a special mention to is somebody I've slated on this channel many times. That is Bruno Fernandes. If you take every game since Ten Hag has been here, Bruno has gone up levels. And why has he gone up levels? Because he's actually doing what we've been telling him to do for the past, 3-4 years. That is just slow play down, play it at your own pace, ping the long balls when you need to, pass short when you need to, dribble when you need to, shoot when you need to. And this simple action has suddenly propelled Bruno up to a reasonable level. Now I can actually watch him without getting pissed, without wanting to throw something at my screen because he's just wasting balls unnecessarily. And we have to really acknowledge that. Bruno has stepped up since Ten Hag has left. Under Rude, I saw that. And maybe against Ipswich, he wasn't at his top level. Today, he showed us that he can still be that guy. Maybe we might have thought, yes, it's too late for him to change. Maybe not. Maybe he might actually change into a more calm, controlled player that can participate in a possession system. And today, Bruno got 2 assists. And for the first time, I can say he deserved it completely. He did not just bullshit his way into GA like he normally does. Today, he completely deserved it. And for that, we have to give him props. A captain's performance, exactly what I saw today, at least. And don't think I forgot about Zirkzee. I know people have been talking about Zirkzee, saying he's not useful, he could do this, he could do that to improve. One thing people miss about Zirkzee is he is a confidence player. I said this in a different video. You have to give this guy confidence and then you will see him play on a totally different atmosphere. That is what we saw today, guys. We might have thought initially Zirkzee is not good enough, or some of you might have thought Zirkzee was not good enough. Maybe he's not going to perform at the club. Of course, I'm not saying that these 2 goals make up for all the mistakes he's made. Yes, he has flaws to his game. Maybe he could run a bit better. Maybe he could run a bit more. Yes, valid arguments. But guess what? His best attributes, in my opinion, are passing and dribbling. And right after his first goal, did you see how his performance level just rose out of nowhere? What do you think that has to do with? That has to do with confidence. So, imagine this, guys. A player who relies on confidence, if you can inject him with some confidence, then he starts performing. Imagine that. So that is why I'm saying give Zirkzee at least 4 or 5 starts in a row. Regardless of how he performs, give him them starts. Then he will show you what kind of player he is. If he isn't the player that I think he is, he's going to disappoint and we can ship him off for somebody else. But when he proves that he's the guy, he will stick in the team. If people like Garnacho got more than 30 starts in a row, if Rashford got 10 starts in a row, regardless of performances, then how can you tell me that Zirkzee doesn't deserve this chance? Because this is one thing I was looking for under Amorim, by the way. I wanted to see. He was giving everybody else chances in the last 2 games. The one attacker I saw that didn't get a chance was Zirkzee. So I was thinking, is he not just going to give Zirkzee a chance, or will he give him a chance? And guess what he did? Unlike what Ten Hag would do, Amorim actually gave Zirkzee a chance. And what happened when Zirkzee got the chance? He scored 2 goals. Now, yes, I would admit this wasn't one of his best performances till the first goal. Because I think in my opinion, he was a bit disappointing. Not how he usually is. But once he got that first goal, everything started flowing. And then he became the Zirkzee that at least I've seen at Bologna. And that's the Zirkzee we want to see. So, inject him with confidence, inject him with a team that also performs around him, and you will see the best Zirkzee. And from what I've seen from Amorim's system today, it was effective. Yes, we could do much better. But again, just like the Ipswich game, just like the Bodo Glimt game, we are seeing glimpses of how this team can work. And so, all we have to do is give it time. Arsenal might not be the game. We're going to see it a month later, like I said, or 2 months later. It will take that long. I think once we get into our stride, there is no stopping us. Because the way this team performed today, if there are levels to go up from here, and we can perform like this against top teams, who's to say we can't dominate everybody? Who's to say we can't be the best team in the world? And obviously, to attribute to all this, we also have to give credit to our defense and midfield, who maybe they weren't at their best levels today, but they were just solid enough to get us through to the performance and to the victory. Because Kobe, yes, he came back and it showed that he was injured for 6 or 7 weeks. He wasn't at the best levels. Now he's going to miss the Arsenal game as well, which is kind of disappointing. But at the same time, I could say we wanted a defensive support next to Casemiro anyway against Arsenal in Ugarte. So it might be a good thing that Kobe sits this one out and he does not get extra pressure for the Arsenal game. Lisandro will also miss that Arsenal game. And today, I think he was reasonable. He wasn't too bad, but he also didn't have an amazing performance. And Onana, let me give him credit. I know it's been a while since I've talked about Onana, but the last 3 months of Onana, in fact, I would say ever since the turn of last year, Barring a few games, let's ignore maybe 3 or 4 games here and there, Onana has been outstanding. He's been an amazing keeper, solid keeper, especially this season after the FC Twente game. Onana has been a different level. He has been arguably one of our best players of the season. Him, Mazraoui, AMAD Diallo. These 3 players have been our best players by far. And for these 3, I would say we have to build the team around them, and Onana especially. You see how he's not pinging as many long balls? You can see that that was a Ten Hag tactic and that backfired incredibly. But now we moved on from that. And my favorite thing about Amorim so far that I've seen, he points out exactly what needs to be pointed out. It's like he's a fan watching the game and he's telling us exactly what we see. So he sees the same game and he understands where the flaws are and he knows how to fix them. And guess what? From the performances we're seeing, he's actually correcting them as well. That's the difference between Erik ten Hag, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ruben Amorim, and all the other coaches that we've had before. That this manager is actually trying to make a change and he's implementing that change, whether that's training ground set pieces, whether that's repeated patterns of play that they're repeating again and again. We know that these goals are worked in training. Like that first goal that Rashford scored, where that technically deflected off Branthwaite. That pass by Bruno, that was crafted from the training ground. Because we know Bruno expected the ball to go exactly where it did and Rashford knew exactly where to be. This is what I mean when coaching can help you score goals even if your players aren't as good. So props to the team. Excellent performance. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong when I say we're going to lose to Arsenal. I just pray somehow Amorim pulls a few tactics through the board and we can get a performance in. We can do something. And if we win at the Emirates, guys, then the mood is going to be way more positive. Because I can already see signs that Amorim could be the guy. But if we can win at the Emirates and at the same time put in a performance that is anyway similar to what we played against Bodo Glimt and against Everton, if we can do that, then we are going places, guys. But that is a good performance by United. I hope we can take this to North London and beat Arsenal. Because that is the one thing I know you guys want, I want. We need to beat Arsenal somehow. Anyways, that's Man United 4, Everton 0. And see you all in the next one.